So here's the question I want to answer in this video. Can the iFi Go Blue Air finally replace the Qudelix 5K? The Qudelix 5K has been the default recommendation for a Bluetooth dongle around the $100 price point for years now. And while other products might beat the 5K in terms of raw output power and sound quality, the 5K still has what I think is the best app in the industry, along with onboard parametric EQ that you can configure either through the mobile app or in a web browser. With all that said, at this point the 5K is starting to get a little long in the tooth, and the fact that it uses 2.5mm balance instead of 4.4mm is a real handicap in 2026. And in my case, after more than 5 years of ownership, my 5K recently took a dog-related tumble. It's still fully functional from a sound output perspective, but the clip is now broken. So when iFi reached out about auditioning some of their products, I thought the Go Blue Air might be a good candidate to evaluate as a potential replacement for the Qudelix 5K. Before we get into the review, I do want to say up front that my unit is a loaner and will need to be returned to iFi after the conclusion of this review. And as always, my thoughts and opinions are my own. If you value honest, technically literate reviews, please do me a favor by leaving this video a like and subscribing to the channel. Alright, let's get into it. In terms of size, the Go Blue Air has just a slightly larger footprint than the Qudelix 5K, but it's still extremely pocketable. The shirt clip uses a strong but detachable magnet. This allows the orientation of the clip to be reversed on the fly, which is honestly a really thoughtful design touch. In terms of build materials, the Go Blue Air uses high-quality translucent plastic with a leatherette insert, which is a pretty neat aesthetic touch. For controls, the Go Blue Air uses a volume wheel, whereas the Qudelix 5K uses a volume rocker. Personally, I've never had any real issues with the 5K's controls, but I know that a lot of people over the years have complained about what they consider to be a poor physical user interface on the Qudelix. Directly below the Go Blue Air's volume knob, there's a button that controls iFi's X-Bass and X-Space features, which we'll talk about a little later in the review. And the power button sits on the opposite side of the device. One criticism I already have at this stage of the review is that the buttons feel a little bit too recessed and don't provide enough tactile feedback for me. It can be a little difficult to tell whether you've successfully pressed a button through touch alone. The Go Blue Air includes 3.5mm single-ended and 4.4mm balanced outputs. Supporting 4.4mm balance is much more useful in 2026 than 2.5mm, and if there ever were to be a Qudelix 5K Mark II, that would probably be my main hardware request. So from a hardware perspective, the iFi Go Blue Air definitely feels like a more modern device than the Qudelix 5K. But hardware is only part of the story. The real question is how it performs in terms of sound and features. In terms of connectivity, the iFi Go Blue Air supports a wide variety of Bluetooth codecs, and in my testing it maintained a very stable connection using LDAC. The pairing process was also completely painless. Where the Go Blue Air really impressed me, though, was in range. In normal use, it easily stays connected when my phone is separated from the dongle by multiple floors of the house. It also maintained a connection at a surprisingly long range. At one point, I actually left my phone inside the house while walking the dog with a pair of headphones connected to the Go Blue Air, and the connection held for roughly a couple of house lengths before dropping out. For context, I've never really had issues with connection stability or range with the Qudelix 5K in daily use. But based on my testing, I would say the Go Blue Air does seem to have better overall range. Now this would normally be the part of the review where I would talk about my objective power measurements, going over the volume settings needed to achieve 94 decibels SPL with the Moondrop S8 on both the single-ended and balanced outputs. Except the Go Blue Air actually can't be used as a wired USB-C dongle DAC. I didn't realize this until I sat down to run my power measurements. This isn't the biggest deal in the world to me, as I never really used the 5K as a wired dongle DAC either, but not having the option to kind of stings. Because of this, I'm only going to discuss power output in terms of the volume settings I needed to reach a comfortable listening volume in a quiet environment. I'm generally going to be using a device like this with IEMs rather than over-ear headphones, so noise floor performance with sensitive all-BA or hybrid IEMs is very important to me. For this part of the review, I tested the Go Blue Air with the Kiwi Eaters Orchestra 2, which is rated at 110 decibels SPL per milliwatt, with a 15 ohm impedance. This is a fairly sensitive set, and a good IEM to use when checking for noise floor issues. And this is actually where I ran into my biggest issue with the Go Blue Air. The noise floor is significantly higher than what I'm used to coming from daily driving the Questyle Sigma and the Questyle Sigma Pro. I can hear hiss on both the balanced and single-ended outputs. The balanced output is noticeably noisier than the single-ended output, but honestly, neither one is especially clean, with very sensitive IEMs. In terms of volume control, with the Orchestra 2, I was generally landing around an Android system volume of 6 to 9 out of 25 on the balanced output, which I found to be a perfectly usable range. Moving on to another IEM that I've had in regular rotation lately, I also tested with the SimGot SuperMix 5, which is rated at 120 decibels per volt RMS, with a 19 ohm impedance. Here, the Go Blue Air again has plenty of volume headroom. I was listening around Android volume steps 9 to 12 out of 25 on the balanced output, so there's definitely enough power on tap. Unfortunately, I could still hear the noise floor of the device on quieter tracks. By comparison, the Qudelix 5K had a barely perceptible noise floor using its balanced output, even on high gain, and switching to standard gain eliminated what little noise floor I could discern. And what really surprised me was that I couldn't find any gain options on the Go Blue Air, either as a physical control on the device or in the Nexus app. Given the amount of available headroom, combined with the noise floor issues I mentioned earlier, I really wish there was an option to switch to a lower gain level in the app, the way you can with the Qudelix 5K. That might go a long way to making the Go Blue Air more usable with very sensitive IEMs. And then we get to software. I am not going to sugarcoat this at all for you guys. I find the iFi Nexus app to be the definition of a minimum viable product, and it just does not hold a candle to the app for the Qudelix 5K. As far as I can tell, the functionality is extremely limited. You can view the battery level of the iFi Go Blue Air, switch Bluetooth codecs, update the device's firmware, rename the Bluetooth ID to a nickname of your choice, and that's basically it. There's no parametric EQ, no digital filter switching, and no deeper control over the device. The Qudelix 5K is still undefeated in this department, even 5.5 years after I bought it. I'll be honest with you guys, battery life is one aspect of audio product reviews that I'm probably the worst at tracking precisely. With that said, after using the Go Blue Air for almost a month, primarily with the single-ended output while evaluating the Opus X OP22, which I'll be reviewing here on the channel next, I've found the battery life to be more than adequate. It's certainly enough to get through a full workday of listening. It also seems to charge very quickly when connected to a decent wattage PD charger, which is great to see. I've been very consistent over the years that I think that the differences between competently designed source devices at similar price points tend to be fairly small, and often only perceptible in quiet listening environments under structured A/B testing. And with a device like the iFi Go Blue Air, which is really designed for on-the-go listening environments, the goal isn't so much to dramatically improve the sound quality of your transducers. The point is really to enable the use of higher quality transducers on the go than would otherwise be possible. Because of that, I don't really have a lot to say about sound quality here. It's a $130 Bluetooth device, and it sounds like one. The exceptions worth discussing are iFi's proprietary X-Bass and X-Space functions, which do make audible changes. X-Bass increases bass weight and impact, and X-Space expands the perceived height and openness of the soundstage. The only issue I ran into is that X-Space seems to make the iFi Go Blue Air's noise floor issues more noticeable, which somewhat limits how useful that mode is with very sensitive IEMs. So with all of that said, let's go back to the original question I asked at the beginning of the video. Can the iFi Go Blue Air replace the Qudelix 5K? For me personally, the answer is no. Now, to be fair, the Qudelix 5K isn't something I use nearly as often as I once did. These days, it's mostly been relegated to listening at night, since I can use it standalone while charging my phone while I sleep. This is mostly because of Wavelet, which allows me to apply the functional equivalent of parametric EQ with whatever dongle DAC I happen to be using. Because of that, the lack of PEQ support on the Go Blue Air isn't quite the deal breaker than it would have been for me a few years ago. And in a lot of ways, the Go Blue Air actually does feel like a more modern piece of hardware. The 4.4mm balanced output is much more practical than 2.5mm in 2026, the magnetic clip is a thoughtful design feature, and the Bluetooth range in my testing was genuinely excellent. But unfortunately, the noise floor performance here just isn't good enough. Again, with sensitive IEMs, the hiss is noticeable on both outputs, and especially on the balanced output. And for a device that's clearly intended to be used with IEMs, that's a pretty significant issue. So even though I really like the idea of a Bluetooth-enabled dongle DAC with a 4.4mm balanced output, the noise floor alone is enough that I just can't recommend the Go Blue Air. Plus, not being able to use this as a backup USB DAC really bugs me. Hopefully these are things that iFi can address in a future revision, because they're really the only issues holding the Go Blue Air back. But as it stands right now, if you're primarily using sensitive IEMs, I think there are better options out there, including the Qudelix 5K itself. Alright, that's it for this one. Thanks for watching until the end of the video. I appreciate it more than you know. Until next time, this is Bedrock Reviews, signing off.